invited guests, students, research scholars, welcome you all in Academic Industry Conclave. Today's Academic Industry Conclave chief guest is our Honorable Dr. Dipti Pandita ma'am. Dr. Dipti Pandita is professor in the Department of Pharmaceutics, DIPSA, Delhi, Pharmaceutical Sciences and Research University, New Delhi. She is member Board of Governors and FC Committee, DPSR University. Head PhD section, Chairperson Sexual Harassment Committee at DIPSA University. She has done her PhD in Pharmaceutics from Jamia Ahmedabad and post-graduation from Manipal University. Dr. Pandita has 22 plus years of teaching and research experience.
Sitting here in this international conference that has been conceptualized by one group of institutions and with a very apt topic, which is current topic of today, that is AI-driven academics, industry and startup ecosystems, Pharma Advancement 2025. And the topic it will says everything, that it is an integration of artificial intelligence, AI and life sciences. And what we are witnessing in the last 5 years to 1 decade is a revolution. And pharma industry is at a forward step. And the panel discussion of this on this topic is going to explore the critical aspects, that is, how can industries and academic institutions work together to drive innovation? Because there are many, we need a bridge between academics and industry. We don't have that. So it's a very excellent question which today will be discussed on the dais, that how industry and academic institutions, they should integrate. Next is, what are the key aspects for the AI-driven drug discovery, big data and clinical research, biotechnology innovations, advanced pharmaceutical manufacturing, where academic and industry can collaborate to accelerate breakthroughs, enhance skill development, and drive real-world impact. So basically, when we talk of AI can be in drug discovery. When we talk of pharma, it is being integrated with clinical trials. We have in the precision medicine. So these are the three important areas where AI is integrating with the life sciences. And we are here with an excellent cumulative experience of industry and academic experts on the stage. And for starting this panel discussion, I would be introducing our moderator for today, Mr. Azam Ali Khan, CEO, Tides Business Incubator, IIT Roorkee. Azam Ali Khan, CEO and Member Secretary of Tides Business Incubator at IIT Roorkee. He is an esteemed leader in entrepreneurship, innovation and business incubation, and alumnus of IIT Roorkee. He holds a Bachelor of Technology degree and an MBA in Finance from the University of Mumbai, and has played a pivotal role in fostering startups and technology advancements. And under his leadership, Tides has been recognized as first incubator in the country among Tier 3 towns by DST BIRAC, reflecting the team's dedication to fostering innovation and entrepreneurship. In addition to his role at Tides, he has extensive experience in upstream, offshore oil and gas sector, power generation and finance services within the Indian market. His professional background includes positions in offshore drilling services, oil and gas asset acquisition, investment banking, treasury management, strategy and business development with major global oil and gas companies and financial institutions. Mr. Khan has also contributed to the entrepreneurship ecosystem as a guest speaker and jury member at the events such as the Startup Uttarakhand Bootcamp 2024. As CEO, Mr. Khan leads and mentors Tides to promote the startup ecosystem across the region, leveraging his skills in negotiations, leadership, strategy, mentoring and business development. His multifaceted expertise and commitment continue to drive innovation and entrepreneurship, making him a distinguished figure in the academic and business communities. So I welcome Mr. Azam Ali Khan to moderate the session, and it's wonderful to read your background and surprising is that you do not have a pharma background, and so we need to learn a lot of entrepreneurship skills, and I'm very happy to meet you today because startups is very important nowadays, and in having startups, encouraging students because our young generation is so talented. Right now, they are so aware about the society. So we really need to mentor them so that they can do wonders. So I welcome you, and so you can start with the panel discussion.
Thank you very much, Professor Pandita. I'm humbled by when you read such a long introduction of mine. I don't think that I deserve that introduction anymore because I'm still a learner. I'm still a student. I learn a lot from the startups, the young founders who typically come to my office every single day coming up with some new idea. And that's the reason when you say that we need a bridge between academia and industry. I think startups are the bridge. The young students are that bridge which can be built and which can be not just allowed but encouraged. And I always say this thing that whenever we have such a discussion that we generally spend more time on successes. I think we need to focus also on the failures and not just allow people to fail but encourage people to fail. Fail, get down, get up again, then again try. And that's where we can develop an innovation supportive society. I spent a lot of time in Scandinavia, in Norway, and Sweden and Denmark. And the reason why these countries are doing well is because they have a very fantastic ecosystem and a cushion for failures. Probably if we can develop in our country some kind of that cushion, we can nurture innovation, we can nurture entrepreneurs who will be successful for us. I think this is the need of the hour. So thank you very much, Professor Pandita, for that. The topic has been chosen quite nicely that they are combining the three major components or the three major buzzwords of today, AI, artificial intelligence, which is somehow leading the national intelligence. We are no more talking about national intelligence anymore. And industry and academia. Industry academia interaction has been oft repeated on multiple forums that we need to have that. But probably there are still some cliches, some wrinkles which need to be ironed out before we say, okay, we have a very smooth industry academia collaboration ecosystem or regulatory environment. To understand this thing from one academic and one person from the industry, let me invite Professor Shailendra Saraf and just try to get your views on how do you think this industry-academia collaboration can lead to growth of innovation happening on the campuses and how it should occur, because definitely it helps in the innovation ecosystem. But what are the things which you see as bottlenecks and what do you see as, because you are also in the administration of one of the leading institutes, what is your vision there?
Good afternoon all. First of all, I would like to thank the organizer of this conference for giving me the opportunity. Topic is pretty apt, and what I feel is we are into academics. We have been there in academics for the last, say, 35 plus years. What we have observed is the industry generally remains hesitant, and that is why that bridge has never been built. As we know, creating an infrastructure was a very small thing. It's a big task. Setting up an industry, the industries are like making the industry as per norms, GLP and GMP and whatnot. And for other activities, probably they won't even have the space, neither the money nor the time. So the least that academic institution can give is, we have got our auditoriums, we have got our halls. So any kind of activity that this industry desires, they can use our spaces to do those activities. That is the first thing, very simplest thing that can be done. Then comes our laboratories. We have got our laboratories. Quite a few institutions have got very equipped laboratories. So I don't think all the industries have time for some kind of research or even troubleshooting. That can be done very easily by academic institutions if we collaborate. Because we have got postgraduate and PhD students also who are working. Those students can take a topic and troubleshoot it for you. So the industry can get results at a much lower cost and pretty quick. So that's what I think we should start with. And then we can go further into research, and there are so many things where we can go. So I'd like to have the industries also to have sessions.
Sure. I think that's a wonderful thing that you're saying that the academia is ready to welcome the industry on the campus, and probably there is some kind of trigger which is needed, and both the students as well as the teachers the faculty are ready to embrace them open-handedly. Let me bounce off the same question to somebody from the industry. Professor Yogesh, when the academia is saying that they are waiting for you open-heartedly, and I'm also from the industry, frankly, on practical ground, there is a disconnect. Because what are the requirements and the expectation of the industry? They are sometimes not met on the ground, or maybe not met at the same pace at which it is expected to be there. What is your experience? And let's be very frank, what are your expectations?
Thank you very much. In my position, there is a word written as commercial. So everything, of course, in the industry runs with the commercial things, budgetings and all. Thank you, Professor, for opening its eye. Sometimes, yeah, there are some limits. We have to work it across because there are a lot of budgeting, there are a lot of many things we have to look into. But on the other hand, when I go to my office and daily I see vacancies. There is a list of vacancies from HR where I have to fill. And there is a limit also, I have to fill in this time. So these vacancies are mostly from skilled workers, mostly from skilled people we want. Day before yesterday, I have 3 plants. I have near about 42 vacancies. So this is a live example I'm giving you. I want people for F&D. I want people in electrical maintenance. I want people in business development. I want people for production. I want people at a working level. I want people in hygiene. So I hope to what level industry is open to you. This is number one. Now on the other side, we have lot many projects for R&D projects and all, and of course we always entertain that. If there is something, we already collaborated with 1 or 2 institutions in Gujarat where we are supporting them, we are giving them their these development programs, and we are facilitating them, we are supporting the students to come up, we provide them the live case studies also. We to a level, yes, whatever is our bandwidth, I hope you will understand, whatever is our turnover, whatever we try to push in, and we want this academic grounds to support us. And we want skilled people along with a good attitude. So I'll again mind you, we want skill but with a good attitude. Now, of course, when I'll be going for a speech, I'm putting more on AI today. So we are pushing in more AIs, this thing, and we already started because I am holding international arm also with this company. So we are moving further. Even sir, we are going to get a JV with the International Academy also very soon. So we have some you can say, development programs in our hand, where now international markets want to come to India and develop their product. So we have two FNDs, one is for Nutra, one is for Pharma. So where we are developing more and more things. And on the other hand, of course, we have plants and we want people and we'll be happy. I'm not saying, I'm hoping on a open platform, we will be happy to get JP with you also. Because we have one plant here in Roorkee with Salute. So we'll be opening that, so it will be feasible for us. So I'm clear that I'm very open. Yes, we'll form a JP with you, sir. Thank you.
Just a follow-on question on this, because you touched about getting the resources from the campus. Let me focus more upon the collaborative projects. Are you doing this already with the academic institutions? And on those collaborative projects, what has been your learning, positive or negative? Maybe one.
This is trials. So it is not positive, it is not negative. Frankly speaking, once we are going it across, sometimes it's good, sometimes it's bad. I'll give you the live example. One of the best collaboration JV being done at the time of COVID with Bharat Serum and IIT Hyderabad. It was the biggest collaboration JV being done. क्या हुआ? वैक्सीन निकला, IIT हैदराबाद को बहुत सारा इंफ्रास्ट्रक्चर मिला, उसके बाद हमको ओपन डाटा, देयर वाज अ रियल डाटा बीइंग गिवन दैट टाइम, and at last that vaccine was there in the international. So this is one example which I got it across and I quoted here. Here also, sir, yes, we got some developments and we are in trials for few products which we are in JV and we are moving along with the R&D of academic institution and we are on a track, sir. So we are, मैं ये बोलूँगा, we are gelling with them. So we are on a track and we are open to put a budget also.
That's wonderful actually. And there are innumerable stories of positives coming out of this collaboration. The industry and academia. And COVID is a very apt example of how exactly it was done. Maybe I would invite Professor Pandita to summarize this particular question. What do you think from the inputs which we have received from both the ends?
So I think we have started, we are taking baby steps. I won't say that it is a major step. It's a baby steps and we need to reach there. The industries, very few actually industries have started having a proper policy-driven collaboration with the academics. There is no policy-driven collaboration, neither it is in the private sector nor in the government sector. So I think if there are some policies which come up, the industry integration should come in the curriculum. So if it comes in the curriculum, then the bridge will, then it will be bridging will be successful. So right now what's happening, we are just using the networks for the collaboration. There is no proper guideline, So I think we need to, both the sides have to work on it. Academics as well, the industries, both the sides. Then only, and both the sides have to know that what are the advantages, what are the pros and cons of the, of the collaborations. If they take students during their curriculum, they're getting extra hands on it. Now, for example, we are into, for example, my university, we are collaborating with the industry for, we are making up a policy for that, where the industry takes the students for the PhD programs. So they come to the university, they take the students for PhD, the scholar will work in the industry and taking care of the IPR, how the other things will be shared. So there are many things which need to be discussed and this is how the integration will be successful. So I think that's
No, I think that's a very wise opinion which you have shared with all of us. Or this is the way forward, probably. Let me jump on to the next question. We have Miss Arushi Jain with us. I think she has joined us online. Mrs. Jain, can you hear us? She's not there? Okay, no problem. So let me then move on. Dr. Rajesh Agarwal. When we are developing the standards or the बेस्ट प्रैक्टिसेस, क्या आपको लगता है कि इंडस्ट्री और एकेडमिया के बीच में इन स्टैंडर्ड्स के डेवलपमेंट के लिए, इम्प्रूवमेंट के लिए देयर इज अ डायलॉग व्हिच इज हैपनिंग? एंड डू यू थिंक दिस दैट इफ इट इज नॉट हैपनिंग इनफ, उसकी ज़रूरत है? एंड हाउ कैन वी मेक दैट हैपन अगेन इन अ सिस्टमिक? बिकॉज इफ वी हैव इट मोर लाइक अ सेरेंडिपिटी, that is not the way things will come out. If it is more systematic way, ensuring that the academia is there, the industry is there, and we have the best global practices, what is your view on that?
Thank you, Dr. Rajan, for this pointed question. I think this is need of the hour, and I would like to start with the thing that what industry need is a trust building with the institute, which is very important. And institute should work in a way that there is a trust building happens. So for that, there are many things. One of the thing is policy or structure, framework, or a structured MOU or a structured document where the checklist, steps, deliverables, and time frame, the cost things, who will share, the intellectual property sharing. So all those things should be defined. I think this is the area where we are just working with the institute for, okay, I know somebody or some institute has infrastructure, we go to them, आप एक project ये कर लो, but then nobody bothers. What is the outcome? How much it is going to cost? Even from the institute side, this is a lacking. So this is very important. Problems are there. Industry is looking forward to have problem solvers, troubleshooters. I think this can happen in the institute, and institutes have a lot of resource. They have infrastructure already in place. Many institutes are having wonderful infrastructure. If you walk down to their I was part of the DIPSA, they're setting up a GMP facility. So small trials can be done, development can be done, brainstorming can happen, ideas can flourish, the ideas can be put into the structured framework. And to just to make this point with an underline that pharmaceutical industry is a policy-driven, the regulatory-driven industry. So we need to do a work, a research in that manner, because ultimately whatever you do is going to be filed somewhere. The regulator is going to review it. So if you don't do a project or activity in a manner and a fashion and in a way where the data cannot be produced or reproduced or presented to the regulator, then the entire work is just null and void. So there are policies, there are regulatory requirements. The institute should understand what are the industrial regulatory compliances, which is very important. We have a GMP rule available. We have pharmaceutical research, new product development, new drug definition, the product registration procedures. They are already there. The things have been listed. And I know many of the academicians, those who have initially worked for 4 or 5 years in the industry, they know it very well because they have hands-on experience on working on the problems. They know what are the problems, what are the questions coming out from the submissions, regulatory submissions, and not to forget the intellectual property. I think this is what is done in the countries which you name or any developed countries. They start the work with the emphasis on creating an intellectual property on it. And when you have this thing in your mind, So you have to do a lot of brainstorming. You have to do a lot of back-end research work. The published data, you have to screen all those things. So I think things are there. It's between the mutual agreement of an institute and the industry, because industry work in a very subjective manner. So they want to have a problem. If they have any problem, they want to have a concrete solution on it in a given time. It should be realistic. It should be scalable. So these are the things which can be done through an understanding. I think important is to build a trust that yes, we can do a problem solving. We have a capability. Our data is authentic. Our data is having a quality assurance applied on it. So that is important. This is my take on this.
आपने बिल्कुल सही इंटरप्रिटेशन किया है मेरे सवाल का, क्योंकि जो जो पॉइंट आपने हिट किए हैं, आई थिंक दिस इज एग्जैक्टली द रीजन व्हाई यू आर आल्सो फ्रॉम academics, because you have done PhD as well as you are working in the industry, and this is a kind of mix I think probably which is needed as of now, कि वो mix, वो talent जो हम लोग हायर कर रहे हैं अपने academics में भी, उसको कुछ अंडरस्टैंडिंग हो. इफ दे आर जस्ट PhD बैकग्राउंड तो प्रॉब्लम होती है कि असेसमेंट में, एनालिसिस में, कि इंडस्ट्री को चाहिए क्या, बिकॉज वी आर इन दिस रिसर्च बैकग्राउंड, रिसर्च करनी है. प्रॉब्लम दैट इज द रीजन इवन गवर्नमेंट ऑफ इंडिया इज शिफ्टिंग इज फोकस मोर फ्रॉम बेसिक रिसर्च टू अप्लाइड रिसर्च. वेरी ट्रू. और वो बहुत ज़रूरी है. अगर हम लोगों को इंडिया में स्टार्टअप्स लेकर के आने हैं, मैन्युफैक्चरिंग करनी है. आज जब हम कहते हैं कि भारत में हार्डवेयर बेस्ड स्टार्टअप्स होने चाहिए, हार्डवेयर बेस्ड स्टार्टअप तभी हो सकते हैं जब हम रिसर्च करें विद अ फोकस ऑन commercialization, commercial viability.
So we should have a target in mind. We should have a time frame in mind. Like Mr. Yogesh said that industry is wishing, industry is willing, but then outcome has to come.
बिल्कुल. मैडम मैं आपसे जानना चाहूँगा कि डू यू थिंक इस तरह का जैसे फार्मेस एक SEZ बनाया हुआ है अहमदाबाद में, लेकिन वो है सिर्फ इंडस्ट्री के लिए. IIT मद्रास या फिर और भी IITs में गवर्नमेंट ऑफ इंडिया ने एक प्रोग्राम निकाला था रिसर्च पार्क का. इट वाज विद दिस इंटेंशन ओनली कि हम वहाँ पे इंडस्ट्री और एकेडमिया साथ साथ रखेंगे. लेकिन कहीं कहीं कुछ रिसर्च पार्क में वो बहुत फ्लरिश किया, कहीं कहीं वो उतना फ्लरिश नहीं कर पाया बिकॉज ऑफ सम रीजंस. डू यू थिंक ये एक मेथड हो सकता है इस इंटरेक्शन को प्रमोट करने का, या फिर इस इंटरेक्शन को एक सिस्टमैटिक रूप देने का रिसर्च पार्ट का, या और क्या तरीके हो सकते हैं कि हम इसे इंश्योर करें कि ये है?
Like how it can be successful where it has not been.
Yeah.
That's your question?
Yes,
Like,
yes.
what are the reasons that it has not been successful?
Other than, yeah, exactly, and also other than research पार्क क्या और ऐसे मेथड्स हो सकते हैं?
I think when we talk of these, so maybe location, number one, the education system in that area, and whether the candidates, because all the things have to be done by the people, by the students or the scholars. So they should be interested in that location. So if I'm like, can I know the success, or if they were unsuccessful, were they reflecting the region maybe also?
आपका बिल्कुल एक लोकेशनल फैक्टर बहुत इंपॉर्टेंट है. जैसे कि मैं अहमदाबाद का एग्जांपल लूँगा बिकॉज मैं अहमदाबाद को बहुत क्लोजली जानता हूँ. फार्मेस एक कितना अच्छा सिस्टम बनाया है जहाँ पे बड़ी अच्छी अच्छी कंपनियाँ, चाहे वो थर्मो फिशर हो या फिर और कंपनियाँ हो, एक एग्लोमरेशन बना दिया है.
Ahmedabad is a hub of pharma industry.
एग्जैक्टली.
So that is a major reason for the success. That could be the major reason for the success.
या तो इसको हम लोग एक तरह से अगर इग्नाइट करना चाहें इन टियर 2 टियर 3 टाउन्स को, तो वो कैसे कर सकते हैं? हमारे पास एकेडमिक स्ट्रेंथ है. जैसे फॉर एग्जांपल मैं हरिद्वार रुड़की का बनूंगा और वहाँ पे भी फार्मा का एक बड़ा अच्छा क्लस्टर बना हुआ है, लेकिन उस क्लस्टर को हम लोग कितना यूज कर पा रहे हैं फॉर न्यू इनोवेशन, कि वो एकेडमिक से कितना जुड़ेगा और क्या जुड़ने का मेथड होना चाहिए?
I think we need to work on the networking part, because networking बहुत important है. Then only we can make our students aware of the places where they can go. And I think अभी भी awareness जो है, if we talk of academy, since I am from academy, awareness is with the institutions who are already, the institutions which are already established. But there are so many education institutions or regions where awareness is not there. So maybe then we can clear off, that can be the solution for the location or
Of course. See, what has happened? We had a meeting with DCGI, Vanchita. There is a guidelines being changed now. There is a state-wise office of DCGI also. So now there is a state office and a DCGI office. अगर हमको WHO GMP चाहिए तो दोनों तरफ के लोग आते हैं. So we were having this thing, how we can promote. He said cash come here. हम लोग हमेशा कहते हैं. He said to let develop more of academic institutions and all, talk to them, getting along with them, and make them more updated. So, sir, we have my colleagues are there with R&D, FND, and all. उसमें सबसे ज़्यादा ज़रूरत पड़ता है. Frankly speaking, regulatory. Of course, I have an international regulatory team. I have a domestic regulatory team. That is very very stringent and regulatory affairs, ladies and gentlemen, my young friends, this line is going to be one of the best line in near future. QAQC तो है ही है. Regulatory affairs will be something which you will be interested in, because there are lot many governance, lot many policies, lot many you can say infrastructure requirements, which is not only coming in India, even in international also, it is changing every day. So this is one thing where we have to learn and understand. These are the basic things. Once we come across that, we can have. So what they said, we like in Ahmedabad, yes, we have this type of a requirement. Or why not we go it across with the other Indian state also? Kabhi to ये आता है, why and Jammu and Kashmir is there, Sikkim is there. So they are finding out some places. They are finding out some states where they will be opening up, and soon we will get it. So this is the update. So yes, they are working on that, of more of regulations.
I want to add what Dr. Rajesh has said initially, that what industry wants and what we are teaching is different. So it has to start from the ground level, that we have to teach them what industry wants.
Yeah, and you're absolutely right, because that is the next question which I am getting for Dr. Singh.
The work culture of academia and industry are totally different. We need to be more communicative to bridge that gap. Secondly, the thought process also. Like academia is more towards research, and whereas industry is more towards the practical aspects. So we have to find a way to bridge that, and that is only possible through faculty development. We need faculty that has actually worked in industry before, so that they have at least some exposure to the requirements of the industry. And industry also has to promote developmental programs for the students to offer them internships, seminars, practical teaching basically.
I think that's wonderful. Rather, आपने जो अपना statement शुरू किया कि there's a जो way of working है वो बहुत अलग है between industry and academia. I mean, again I will frankly admit जब मैं industry से academia में आया तो it was like कि मैं highway से एकदम से छोटी रोड पे आ गया. अब मुझे आराम से हल्के हल्के चलना है. But लेकिन हर किसी के अपने अलग अलग पॉजिटिव्स हैं, नेगेटिव्स हैं. आई थिंक एकेडमिया में आपको बहुत इंडिपेंडेंस मिलता है, एक रियल मीनिंगफुल इम्पैक्ट क्रिएट करने का, कुछ इनोवेट करने का. जैसे कि आज मैं यहाँ आ पाया तो आई थिंक इंडस्ट्री में अगर मैं होता तो मैं बिल्कुल भी टाइम ही नहीं था कि आप बॉम्बे में या दिल्ली में, बड़ा मुश्किल था. हालांकि आप लोग आए हैं, ये बड़ा कि ये बहुत अच्छी बात है, बट बहुत कम टाइम मिलता है उसको. आई थिंक वो एक दो अलग अलग कल्चर हैं. मैडम आपसे मैं पूछना चाहूँगा, हाउ मच डू यू अग्री विद दिस? क्या ये ऐसा है इन योर व्यू, और अगर है तो इसका कहीं कोई मिड पॉइंट है?
Like Penny, as I mentioned earlier, that our curriculum is not industry oriented, and what Sir has added in the end that we need to encourage the internships. I think internships, बहुत से public health and other there are many fields जहाँ पे internships आपकी curriculum में है 6 months. We do have research in our pharma curriculum, but we do not have the internship. Like students go for industry projects, but they are very few. It is not inside the academic system, so they can or they may not go. So. Industry people have to come and visit the academic institutions, and the scholars and students have to go and visit the industry. तो दोनों तरफ से flow बहुत जरूरी है. Inflow and outflow दोनों तरफ से important. जब तक industry experts academic institutions में नहीं आएंगे और student industry के अंदर नहीं जाएंगे during their education, तब तक वो आगे का like you know that is what they are getting into, you know, after their education. तो उन्हें वो पता नहीं.
Any other question? Yeah. Topic. Yeah. Please stick to the topic and also be very clear about the question. आपका question क्या है?
I have a question and a suggestion too. I would like to hear from Professor Saraf, please. As you have told that the pharmacy curriculum is going to be revised in next 1 or 2 years. So as you are also talking about that, we all have been talking about that there is a gap between the industry and the curriculum of this pharmacy program. Can we have such a curriculum that like engineering program has, that they have first year in common, that's the compulsory subject, then after they divide it into batches, into the branches like civil engineering, mechanical engineering and others. So can we have such type of curriculum for pharmacy too, that there are several types of students, that those who wants to go into the industry, those who want to pursue the higher studies, those who want to go for the entrepreneurship. So can we have such curriculum that after second year or third year, those who wish to pursue their career in industry, they will have the curriculum for that industry oriented subjects. Those who pursue career in the hospital pharmacy, then they would have to study the subjects of that hospital pharmacy. So what are your suggestions for that?
I really welcome that question. And in fact, when I was talking about the change in curriculum, and I was replying to Mr. Rajesh, most probably what I know from my sources, because it hasn't come into the public domain as yet. Exactly यही होने वाला है जो आप कह रहे हैं. That probably in the third year and the final year we will be having division, whereupon somebody can go into practice, some into manufacturing, some into say, quality assurance and control. That kind of a syllabus is being drafted by the Pharmacy Council of India. So hopefully वो आ जाए और फिर once it comes into the public domain, as I said, कि हम over and above चलते हैं AKDU में. So what I try to do is कि पहले उनको देने दो, I'll incorporate some more things in there. That's what I have done.
And then one more suggestion is that if we are going for such a framework, the assessment of that relevant field should be done with the means if the student is pursuing for industry. So assessment should be done by the industry itself.
See, that's where the problem comes. हमारे यहाँ कुछ regulations ऐसे होते हैं ना वो हमारे हाथ पर मान देते हैं, वो कहते हैं काम करो. तो we have to follow PCI norms on that. एक बार उनको देने दीजिए. Let us see what we can do at the university level.
The student will come for internship or training program, but there is no control on it and there is no seriousness on it. As the industry stalwart said, that industry people cannot waste time with the students and they try to restrain it. So my suggestion is, we have stalwarts from DIPSAR and AKTU, both the professors are here. So if they can come out with a framework which will allow the faculty members to go for industry work, I will not say training, to go for work in industry for a year. Like universities have been sponsoring for a master's program, they sponsor for M.Pharma, M.Tech, they sponsor for PhD. So that is all in direction of academics. So let the academia think about how they can participate with industry. So my suggestion is that we should work on a framework that a professor will come on deputation to industry and work for a year and then go back to academics. So that will give a real input in the academia about the industry. So I request that you can take this idea and deliberate at your university level. So that so far there is no such program. But I don't think there should be any hesitation in implementing it.
That is the biggest issue that is going to come. जहाँ पैसा आता है यूनिवर्सिटी भी हाथ खड़े कर देती है, मैनेजमेंट भी हाथ खड़े कर देती है. तो अल्टीमेटली वी हैव टू वर्क आउट अ वे कि उसका एक साल का जो भी कॉस्ट है वो किसको बेयर करना है. और द इंस्टीट्यूशन, क्योंकि यूनिवर्सिटी इतने टीचर्स के लिए ये कर पाना शायद संभव भी नहीं होगा और इसका भी कोई प्रोविजन कहीं नहीं है, इंक्लूडिंग यूजीसी. सो ऊपर से पड़ेगा. If at all it has to come. It's a good idea, but how to implement it, even I am right now I'm not in a position to answer. क्योंकि एक साल में उसका पैसा कहाँ से आएगा? And without that sustaining is very difficult. तो stakeholders यदि साथ में हों और एक ही प्लेटफॉर्म पे है, क्योंकि ऐसा आइडिया भी है नहीं सकता, तब शायद इसके बारे में सोचा.
This idea has come from your deliberation.
Sir.
So, and it is not easy. I know it is not easy, it is a policy matter. It will be very, very difficult, but it will be a wonderful idea.
Sir, मेरा idea
You know, sir, I tell you one example. About 10 years ago, I took some retired general managers from HMT into academics. So my professors, they resisted it. And after 10 years now, AICT has accepted professor by practice. And my experience was that those professors have done wonderful work for my students. Wonderful work. So it is up to academia people to consider it. I am not saying it will be implemented tomorrow. See, the idea I taken up 15 years ago is implemented now in the AICT. So this is my idea.
सर एक महीने से स्टार्ट करें, एटलीस्ट वो शुरू हो. एक महीना शायद कॉलेज भी पैसा दे देगा, सैलरी कोई प्रॉब्लम नहीं होनी चाहिए. और नहीं भी होगा तो दैट फैकल्टी मेंबर कैन सस्टेन आल्सो फॉर अ मंथ. या इसमें एक और छोटा सा आइडिया मेरे दिमाग में भी आ रहा है, हम क्या मिनिमम क्वालिफिकेशंस फॉर टीचिंग में ये नहीं कर सकते कि इतने साल का इंडस्ट्रियल एक्सपीरियंस होना चाहिए?
That is already there, AICT has done it.
नहीं, बट वो होता कहाँ है? How many people from the industry do we have in the faculty?
We have.
नहीं, आपके पास है, but overall मैं बात कर रहा हूँ.
Overall, it may be 1%, it may be 1%.
That is what the sad part is.
That is what is my idea, that we can start with one teacher from one university, going to some industry, and then we can analyze it, how it goes. See, as far as financials are concerned, every industry can share, and we may have to give some incentive to the professor to go to industry, because he is living comfortable life.
Sir, कहते हैं industry doesn't do charity.
No, because he is living, no, it is up to university.
नहीं सर, I fully agree. एक महीने वाला जो proposal है, probably मैं जरूर
आप इसको take up करिए,
मैं करूँगा.
council में.
I do it. Definitely I do.
Because somewhere, somebody has to start.
हाँ. I've been with the industry, मुझे मालूम है कि कितना फायदा होता है.
See, somebody has to start. Industry will not start because industry aim and their aim is commercial, whereas academia aim is to develop the nation.
मैं महीने पर बात.
Yes,
You must.
something has to be started.
Yes, I do.
Thank you.
Thank you.